Hey YouTube, making another video here. And I wasn't going to make another video, but the only reason I'm making this video is because of I was surfing the internet and I ran across this site, and check it out. It's called Celtic Pride Press or Celtic Anglo Press or something like that. And it's a white guy on there. And this guy is essentially just talking about having white pride, and he's talking about the election of Obama. And let me encapsulate what it is that he said. He started quoting a lot of statistics about this past election. 59% of white people voted for Mitt Romney. If 59% of white people would have voted for Mitt Romney, it had been 1988 or something like that. Uh, they would have won the presidency because they made up 88% of the electorate. And you could tell that he's a Republican, and what he was trying to say, and I don't lump all Republicans in the same cast just because this guy's a Republican. That doesn't mean anything to me. But what I find interesting in what he said is what the correlations that he was trying to make. And essentially what he was saying is that America is turning into a very non-white country. And right now, I think he says that white people make up 72% of the electorate, and 59% of white people voting for Mitt Romney was not enough to win. Now, I can get into the statistics and everything like that, but I'm going to take his statistics as if they're true. I'm not going to even try to verify whether they're true or not. I believe they probably are true. But here is what he cannot understand and that he cannot grasp. There are few things. First, well, let me digress for a second. He was talking about redistribution of wealth with the non-whites. He was saying as the non-whites gain more power, they're going to take from the whites and they're going to redistribute the wealth. Okay, let me address that first. A redistribution of wealth presupposes that the people who have gained the wealth gained it honestly. Now, if we look back through our world history, pillage and pilfering has been going on since the world created. Nations have conquered other nations, and the spoils of war, they gained land and people and things of that nature. So this is nothing new. And even today, America still is a colonial power, and essentially we have over 700 bases worldwide. So we still, or we're seeking world hegemony. And so the fact is that America is an empire, and so America has always, stolen natural resources from people and by force they've done it. So his presupposition is that white people have gained something, and they gained it all honestly. I think many Republicans love to claim the free market, but the fact of the matter is that they're not using free market principle. I believe in the free market, but they're not using free market principles. They use theft and coercion. And when the Bible says you reap what you sow, and if white people are getting things stolen from them and taken from them, it's because they've probably stolen something. Now, I know what the argument is. All white people have not stolen anything. That's true. I agree with that. But the fact is that all people somehow or somewhere down the line will sometimes, if you want to say reap the benefits or reap the reward of the things that have happened in the past. I'll give you an example. If you got a woman who's a crack baby, or you got not a crack baby. Let's say you got a woman a young girl, she's 15, and she gets pregnant, and she's uneducated. Well, it's not a generational curse, and there's some religious people say it's not a generational curse. It's called cause and effect. If the likelihood of that child being in poverty and being uneducated is very high. It's not a curse. It's not a curse. It's just a consequence. That's what it is. And so what happens is that we say, well, do we blame the child? No, you don't blame the child, but the child is going to reap the reward or reap, even the negative aspect of being born to a woman who is uneducated, probably unmarried, and probably doesn't have a good job and all that. So this is the same. This is the same law at work. There are a lot of white people who are probably getting things stolen from them, but if you look back far enough into their history, you'll find that their ancestors stole a lot of things, were given a lot of things, so that they had this advantage over other people, and that they kind of reap the reward. Now, when it comes to the reaping the reward, meaning that all the positive things, they think they deserve it. But if there's negative repercussions, they think that they don't deserve it. You see the hypocrisy. So whenever it's good or something that's in their favor, oh, they're all for it. They're all for redistribution of wealth when it comes to that. But this guy is interesting because he doesn't seem to understand that as the United States becomes more non-white, and even the world as it becomes more non-white, it's not so much as the non-whites or trying to everything is going to be socialistic. It's really cause and effect. What people don't realize is that there's biblical laws here at work. And I'm not going to get all religious on you and all this, but all I'm saying is this. When you take from another person and you have generation after generation of generation of theft, what happens is there's a natural human response to where people congregate together and they're going to do the exact same thing that you did. And you're going to say that it's unfair. They're going to say it has nothing to do with fairness. I mean, what has nothing to do with being unfair? It has to do with fairness. You've had your 100-year run and you've stolen and your ancestors have stolen. You may not personally have stolen anything, but your ancestors have stolen things. And now it's time for us to physically take it back. And of course they're going to think that it's wrong. But this is the question I would ask these people. When we as a nation go and we steal other people's land and corporations go and they do all the things that they do, and we allow it to happen. We allow our country to go and kill brown people all around the world, and to gain, a dime on a gallon of gasoline. Americans have no problem with that whatsoever. They don't protest or anything. Now, I'm not saying no American protest, because obviously there have been people who've been protesting. But the bottom line is that most Americans are greedy and selfish and narcissistic. And I don't want our nation to go down, but I do believe in biblical law, and I think that America will reap what they sow. And I think that the white people, yeah, they're in trouble. They got low birth rates, and they've got a lot of issues. And the world is becoming more and more non-white. But to me, this is all about reaping and sowing. That's all it is.